Utah is known for its perfect recipe for adventure. Proximity to scrumptious landscapes, the most decadent powder, and natural eye candy pretty much everywhere you look. And to chocolate enthusiasts, it's also known for being the epicenter of access to some of the world's most delicious bean-to-bar chocolate. What goes into making a bar of chocolate? Well, that depends on who you ask. For over a decade, Caputo's in downtown Salt Lake City has become a virtual mecca for craft chocolate thanks to Matt Caputo's passion for artisanal bean-to-bar chocolate. Their efforts in connecting an inclusive community of chocolatiers and enthusiasts has helped ignite a curiosity and appreciation for the alchemy of chocolate. Utah has some of the finest chocolate makers worldwide, and over our 11 seasons on Taste Utah, we've been fortunate enough to introduce you to some of them, like the award-winning team at Amano Chocolate in Orem and Solstice Chocolate in Salt Lake City. We've stopped by Taste Artisan Chocolate in Provo, and there are many others who have contributed to the chocolate revolution, like Mill Creek Cacao Roasters and the Chocolate Conspiracy. And then there's Ritual Chocolate in Heber, which is where we find ourselves this week on Taste Utah. Ritual has played a significant role in the evolution of chocolate in Utah since I first encountered the team at Caputo's annual chocolate festival nearly a decade ago. After saying goodbye to their original storefront and production facility in Park City several years ago, Ritual has emerged as a global brand, a leader in craft chocolate, and a staple in artisan shops and markets across the country and the world. Today, people can taste Utah's unique chocolate featuring ingredients like local hollow tree honey simply by picking up a bar. As a female-led company, Ritual continues to be guided by Anna Sear, whose deep care for each chocolate bar is evident in every bite. The fragrance that permeates the halls of their Heber location carries the same sophisticated flavors we've come to know and love, still layered with depth and decadence, often enhanced with a sprinkle of salt or a graham cracker crust. The journey of each bar begins with the bean, sourced from farms around the globe and delivered in burlap sacks. At Ritual, the beans are roasted on site, husked, winnowed, and broken down into nibs before getting heated, ground, heated again, conched, molded, and finally shipped off to your favorite stores and restaurants. Each bar is a testament to the care and effort that connects you back to the farmer who grew the cacao pods and the dedicated team that crafted the chocolate. So take your time, breathe in the aromas, savor the moment, and enjoy a bite of bean-to-bar chocolate. Let it melt in your mouth and offer you a moment of pure indulgence, all within a simple chocolate bar. Well, what you have going on up here, Anna, is absolutely extraordinary.
Oh, thank you.
It's been so long since we've sat down.
It's been a long time. I know. I feel like I was trying to figure it out, but I feel like it's been about 7 years.
7 years, yeah. And you had just opened this amazing little cafe and artisan chocolate shop. And now you're up in Heber, and it's a full-on factory.
You know, we made the choice during COVID, of all times, to move here and really to expand. So before, we were doing our production in Park City in 2,500 square foot.
Okay.
And we moved here and it's almost 12,000. Ritual, initially the name came up because we wanted to tie it to how cacao was really revered in the rituals and ceremonies of the Aztecs and the Mayans, and how that kind of reverence for the cacao has been lost through the years. So we wanted to bring that back. So that's initially why we called the company Ritual, but now I feel like I think more about it as, like you said, is we have little rituals we do every day, and they really, you know, define who we are as a person. And when it comes to chocolate, I think of it as such this like beautiful, joyful product where everyone can just take a moment in the day and give themselves a little bit of indulgence. And what I wanted with creating Ritual and making chocolate is I really wanted people to enjoy the experience, but know that they're eating chocolate that is good, that they know is clean ingredients, it's healthy, high quality, that it's ethically sourced, so you can just, have this joyful experience without feeling like, well, where are all the ingredients from, and is it really good for me? And so it's been lovely to really think about that.
Educate us on the farming process and how you chose your where you're sourcing your cacao from.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that was like the biggest light bulb moment for me is when I first went to a cacao farm in Costa Rica, and you're in amongst all these trees. You realize how hard the farmers are working to grow and keep these fragile plants healthy, and then to harvest. They're hand harvesting, and they're opening up the pods, gently pulling out the beans. They're actually fermenting the beans and drying them, which is, a very, again, fragile steps where you have to be overseeing it the whole time. They ferment for 5 to 7 days. You're drying for several days, and there's so much that goes into the cacao beans before we receive them. And so for us, we feel like we have a responsibility to just take care in our chocolate making process so we can really let these beans shine in the chocolate. So the bean roasting, so that's the main flavor development step. And as I said, we do a really light, slow roast just to gently bring about the flavors. But it makes a huge difference to bringing in some of those chocolatey notes.
So this is what basically is in the brown burlap sacks that you have in the back.
Right. We sort through the beans, make sure we take out any beans that don't look good or any debris.
Okay.
And then we lay them out on sheets that we then put in our convection ovens to roast. And then we do a long, slow roast in the ovens.
Okay.
And then pull them out, cool them, and we have our roasted beans.
Okay, so this is roasted. This is...
Yeah.
And then you have the nibs.
You have the nibs.
Next steps.
And then that's when you really get into the chocolate making. So we have our mixers, which is, they have a granite rotating base and then granite wheels. And so we add the roasted nibs and the sugar in there, and we spend a few hours, it's just mixing and slowly breaking down the particle size and coating the sugar in the cocoa butter that's being released from the nibs. So the nibs are about 50% cocoa butter.
Okay.
So it's like, if you think of peanuts, that if you run them through a refiner, you're going to get that like thick, crunchy peanut butter.
Yes.
When the fats are released. So cacao is the same.
Same thing. Oh my goodness.
So the next stage, after we have the nibs and chocolate in the mixer, then we add it to our 3-roll mill refiner.
Okay.
And so we actually put the liquid chocolate between the back 2 rollers, they roll together, and through shear force, it's breaking down the particle size, and the second roller catches the chocolate, and then the third roller again is shearing the chocolate down, and it comes off in this beautiful thin ribbony layer.
Okay.
And that's really our texture step, is the 3-roll mill. After the 3-roll mill, we put the chocolate into our longitudinal conch.
Okay.
Which is actually from 1915. It was made in Switzerland.
Okay.
It used to be used by Suchard, and then we got hold of the machine in Denver. We had it fully refurbished, and it's a very slow conching method.
Okay.
And it has these big steel rollers that go back and forth, and it whips and aerates the chocolate.
Okay.
And so it's kind of massaging out the particles and developing the flavor. And we actually leave the chocolate in there for 72 hours.
Okay.
And so it takes us about a week to make a batch. For us, like in the beginning, we were just researching through a lot of old chocolate books, how chocolate was made, in Europe, like 50, 100 years ago. And we really wanted to go back to where chocolate was, again, treated as this high quality food using slower methods, because we felt like there's a lot of giant industrial high efficiency machines. We wanted to move away from that and be like, what's equipment that's a slower method where it's just gentler on the chocolate and then better for the overall finished flavor.
This week on Taste Utah, we've been exploring the finer points of handcrafting bean-to-bar artisan chocolate at Ritual Chocolate, nestled in the beautiful Heber Valley. Creating a simple bar of chocolate has so many unseen steps. From the farmer growing the pods, extracting the beans, drying and fermenting, the team at Ritual then selects the farms and regions in the world to import the beans from. Once they're handed off in burlap sacks, the alchemy from cacao to chocolate begins through an entirely new process of sorting the beans for any debris, then on to roasting, winnowing, or removing the roasted husk from the bean, breaking the bean down into nibs, crushing the nibs into a chunky paste, refining the chunky paste to a smooth consistency, aerating the now liquid chocolate for days, and then molding the chocolate into bars. Whew! And then there's the tasting.
Let's do a little bit of tasting,
Yeah,
shall we?
we'd like
Okay,
to.
yeah, I would love to.
Great. Well, I'd love to start with the single origins
Okay.
when we have fresh palate.
Yes.
So I picked the Madagascar and the Ecuador
Okay.
just because they're really fun to try side by side because they have such different flavor and texture
Okay.
to one another. And so they're both 75% cacao, which means that by weight, that's 75% cacao nibs and a little cacao butter to 25% sugar.
Okay.
So really the difference is the beans.
Okay.
So if you want to start with the Madagascar.
All right. Awesome. Yes, please.
two.
You have to taste with me, otherwise it's just too weird. You got that nice snap. You see the nice sheen, so you're doing something really well.
I jumped ahead, but
No.
but yeah, really with chocolate tasting, we say, the most important thing is just to slow down, take a moment, allow it to melt, and then just notice what comes up. You're getting some of those bright notes at the end.
Very bright. I mean, to me, like very berry bright. It almost feels like a red fruit or something like that.
Yeah, so this origin, it's bean variety, it's how it's grown. Again, it's fermentation and harvest. So you don't think of chocolate as having like a terroir, like wine, but it very much does.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
absolutely.
factors that go into the flavor. So yes, we can go on to the Ecuador.
So shall we?
And you'll even
my,
notice it's subtle, but there's even a difference in colour. So the Madagascar's a little bit redder, and then the Ecuador is quite dark in colour. What I love about the Ecuador, it's actually a low cocoa butter bean. And so it's still very smooth, but it's just a little bit thicker and fudgier. It has just like a nice rich base to it. So very different from the Madagascar.
Oh, right away the flavor is too.
It's like an earthiness to
I
it.
was just gonna say that, almost like grassy, but not in a like vegetal plant way, but in just sort of like the smell of fresh cut grass, like how I imagine it would taste.
Yeah. Again, you're not always going to have that, really strong, crazy flavors, but it's more of like that subtle tasting experience.
Yeah,
So-
it's so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next, I have
Little
tasted this
s'mores.
before.
Yeah, this one is actually my favorite right now. I can't stop
Oh my
eating
gosh, I
it.
love
But
it. Yes.
we refined the recipe a little bit. So we used to burn the sugar and make the chocolate with the burnt sugar, but it was actually ripping apart all of our machines because it was like sticky.
Yes.
But it was so good. It was in the chocolate. So now we caramelize the sugar and put the little sugar pieces on top with pieces of graham cracker, and I just love the crunch and the texture so much, and it's so beautiful too.
It's so beautiful.
Little sugar pieces.
Yes.
So this is just a fun one.
And then what, I'm sorry, I must have missed, I probably missed it. What's the chocolate?
And so
that
this is our Mid-Mountain.
Mid-Mountain, okay, and what is Mid-Mountain blend?
So it's a blend of all our origins.
Okay.
And we're really just trying to find, a beautiful, balanced, approachable chocolate.
I love it.
And it's a little bit sweeter than our single origins at 70%.
Okay.
So it's just
It's your entry level ritual chocolate, and then a mix of beans, not single origin.
yeah.
Okay, how cool. Great.
So,
What's so fun is the chocolate is so good that, again, it's kind of like the opposite of s'mores, where the chocolate is just sort of like part of it, or like one dimension of it. It's like this is the
like the chocolate's the star of the show, and then the graham cracker and
just like a little kiss, a little hint, I love it.
But,
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Yeah. And I thought it would be fun to end on our Alpine Distilling bar, just because it's been so fun for us to create. So as I said, we had our juniper lavender bar, and we really wanted to try it with gin. And Sarah from Alpine is fantastic.
Oh,
and
it's so fun. She's wonderful.
Oh, she's wonderful. So we,
I haven't had this one either. I did have the juniper lavender, but I haven't had it since the Alpine collaboration.
So and we still have our juniper lavender for people that love just the juniper lavender. But
it's so good. It's like all of the flavors are meeting each other harmoniously. So not one is overpowering. It's so well done.
Oh,
gosh,
thank you.
I
That was our
love that.
goal. So.
When you open the cacao pod, you have like a series of anywhere from 12 to 14?
Yeah, I'd say 20 to 40 seeds.
Okay, 20 to 40 seeds.
And we actually have a pod here.
Yeah.
So you can see, I mean, it's like, it's a very good size.
Yeah.
So it's 20 to 40 beans in a pod, and they gently open the pod when they harvest, and they pull them out, and the beans are covered in this like soft, sweet mucilage, and it's amazing. You can just put them in your mouth and sort of suck it off, and it's beautiful.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Ritual is known as this incredible chocolatier throughout the world, really. You're here in Utah, so you're allowing people to taste Madagascar through what you're creating in Utah. Maybe you infuse it with a little High West bourbon, or you offer it with Hollow Tree or Alpine Distillery, which are also incredible Utah products. And so you're allowing people to taste Utah wherever they engage with ritual, whether that's here in the state or it's a beautiful bakery deli in New York City or in Texas, or I was just in St. Louis, and I see Ritual chocolate, and I feel so proud, number one, to know that you come from Utah, but like to know you and to know your heart and your desire to really want to create a product that everyone can enjoy, that connects them to the people along the way.
I've lived in Utah now, it's probably been about 9 years, and I'm a Utah lifer. Like, I love it here. I'm really passionate about the people and the lifestyle, and I'm so inspired by being here. And so, I mean, my hope is that you can really feel it and see it in Ritual.
It has shown through here in incredible ways, and I just love that you offer things like drinking chocolate as well to help people access that hot chocolate kind of experience. Here I teach ceremonial cacao ceremonies, which is so fun and very much about ritual and celebrating indigenous culture and the special, unique aspect of chocolate. So you can even buy like the 100% chocolate, which I love to use because I do think that your sourcing methods, the sustainability, and truly allowing the chocolate to do the speaking is exactly where you want to be. Cacao is good for you. It is known to be heart opening because actually the oxygen creates your heart actually pumps a little more clean and a little more open, which is really fun. And Indigenous culture has been celebrating chocolate for years and years, and it's just so wonderful that you're calling us into the celebration, the connection, the community, and truly what I believe to be the alchemy of cacao, because it's science and it's art that becomes one.
It is. I know. It's really beautiful, and it's such a joyful food. And so really we're just trying to share that with people.
Yes. I mean, this is so fun. You are really creating such special, high quality experiences. And at Heber, you also have this beautiful cafe. So tell us a little bit about how people can engage with you up here at Ritual.
Yeah, well, the fun thing is we're doing more tours. We're developing our tour program. So we have a public tour on Fridays, but we're going to add a few more to the schedule. So we love getting people in to do tours and tastings, and people can book tours as well. And that's just so nice because, you have someone from our team that just spends an hour just going through the process, sitting down and tasting, and you can ask them all the questions you want and try a bunch of chocolate. So it's such a fun experience. And the cafe is run by Pink Elephant Coffee.
Okay.
And they use all of our chocolate, and you can get all of our products, but it's just been a fun collaboration with them, where they do a lot of, fun baked goods and various things. So yeah, the cafe has just been, it's just a great, addition to our factory space. So.
It's one of my favorite things about you when you started just in the Park City location that's now closed. But you could walk through the store and you could taste any chocolate bar. You have the samples out for people to actually be able to engage that way. That's just another layer or level of meeting people where they are and saying, come up here and, you don't need to buy this bar if you don't like it and then see that you don't like it and then be disappointed. It's like you get to engage and assess your level of expectation how you want. So find the best bar that's right for you.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I think it can feel intimidating to sit down with people who are really passionate about what they do, And so it's just, again, like I said, another step to say like, I can come up here and I can kind of start to educate myself a little bit, and then maybe a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yes.
And really develop a love and a passion for the product as well.
What's been so exciting for me to see and brings me so much joy is we have such a wonderful team that we've built over the years, and everyone is so passionate about what they do, and it's so fun to be a part of that. We kind of feed off of and inspire each other, and so it's pretty lucky.
That's so special. I mean,
Yeah.
it's intention, and intention is reflection, and you reflect that with yourself and the people around you. So
To be able to tell our story and share that, I mean, for us, that's everything.